Attending their regular support meetings is a critical component of al-Anon members' lives. But during the pandemic, Anon Family Groups face-to-face meetings have been discontinued and replaced with online or phone meetings. I'm speaking today with Debbie. She is a member of the Anon Family Groups. And she is joining us to talk a little bit more about Al-Anon and what's happening during COVID. Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you, April.
Debbie, can you tell me what Al-Anon means to you?
I can. First, I'll just say that Anon Family Groups is a fellowship of people who have the family disease of alcoholism, meaning they have a relative or a close friend or someone they care about who's affected by the disease of alcoholism. And what it means to me personally, I've been a member for over 30 years. I am very, very dedicated to my recovery program in Al-Anon. My first alcoholic was my father, and after that, I married a man who suffered from the disease of alcoholism, so I came back to Al-Anon as an adult because I needed it. And I stay now because I want to be calm and focused and having a happy life, and I don't want to interfere with my adult children. And I want to have good relationships with them without telling them what to do. So Al-Anon is very helpful to me. I go to at least one meeting a week, every week.
Can you let me know what happens at an Al-Anon meeting?
Yes.
And some of the topics they cover.
Sure. At an Al-Anon meeting, we use first names only because we protect the anonymity of anyone who is there. And we generally cover topics relating to the 12 steps of Al-Anon, which are based on the same 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, except we apply them to ourselves. So a meeting might be about a particular step, or it might be about a piece of our literature, or it might be about a topic such as loving detachment, how to continue to love your alcoholic while hating the disease. It might be on something like that, or it might be on one of our traditions. A typical Al-Anon meeting might last an hour, and each person would have a chance to share briefly. And we talk about our experience, strength, and hope. We're none of us professionals, or if we are in our outside lives, we don't bring that into the Al-Anon meeting. We just share our experience, strength, and hope with one another.
Can you provide to me a little bit about how Al-Anon, how those principles have really helped you specifically?
Sure. I was actually an Al-Anon member as a child because my father became sober in Alcoholics Anonymous when I was 10, and my mother became an Al-Anon member when I was 13. But you don't have to have parents in those programs to join. But as a child, I really, really benefited from Al-Anon because I met other children who had the same kind of things going on in their homes that were going on in mine. And it can be a disease of loneliness and denial and isolation. So it really helped me to be an Al-Anon as a teenager. And then as an adult, it helped me very much with my marriage because my husband was an alcoholic. And I was able to find a way through some very difficult situations in our marriage based on what I learned at the program. I learned that I could not get my husband sober as much as I wanted to. That was not my job. I learned to put the focus on myself and detach from him lovingly and do what I could do for me. And it's kind of like if you're in a plane and, you know, they tell you the safety instructions, it's always put on your own mask first before you start putting on a mask for someone else for oxygen. It's like that in Al-Anon. I learned how to take care of myself first because I can't help anybody else if I'm not helping myself. It's been really the foundation of my adult life, the Anon Family Groups and the program. And the best friends that I have in life are friends I made in the program, but that's not why I went. I went primarily try to save my husband, but that's not what happened. Instead, I saved myself.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit more about Al-Anon Teen. If somebody is in need of getting support. Has that been going on for a long time?
Alateen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it has. Probably not quite as long as Al-Anon, um, but quite a long time now. Right now in Kingston, we don't have an Alateen group happening during COVID, unfortunately, but teens can still get help through our World Service in Virginia Beach. Through that website, they can be hooked up with other teens they can chat with. And when COVID is over, we hope to have our Alateen group up and running again in real time, which we had before.
Right. So speaking of the length of time Al-Anon has been around, in the Kingston area, how long has it contributed to the community and its members?
We have 7, when it's not COVID time, we normally have 7 different Al-Anon groups going on. So one every day of the week, and there's one group that's been going for more than 60 years in Kingston.
60 years.
And many of the groups, 30 years and more. It's been around for quite a while, but not everybody hears about Al-Anon. Many people hear about Alcoholics Anonymous, but they don't all hear about Al-Anon, which is a pity because it's so helpful.
What is the difference between the two?
Well, Alcoholics Anonymous helps alcoholics achieve sobriety, and Al-Anon helps people that have somebody that they love who is an alcoholic who affects their life. So it could be an adult child, it could be a teenager, it could be a parent, it could be a spouse, it could be an employer, it could be a brother or a sister. So by definition, there are a lot more people really that can use our help than one alcoholic in a family affects everyone. And that's why we call it a family disease. And what happens often is there's quite a stigma to do with alcoholism still. And so people don't want people to know maybe that there's a drinker in their home. So they become more isolated. They start to deny that there's a problem. They don't reach out for help. So, that's difficult for children sometimes living in that kind of situation. They're not allowed to talk about it with their friends. It can be very, very negative. And so Al-Anon can overcome some of those sadnesses, really.
I'm hearing from you that you are finding that people are attending meetings. And how do they do that? How do they attend meetings without actually meeting in a meeting space?
Because we couldn't meet in a meeting space anymore, several Al-Anon members got right on the case and figured out how to become technologically literate and use Zoom as a platform in order to get people to meetings. And I did phone 2 of the members that were right off the mark with that to ask them how it was for them. And one of them shared with me that she wanted meetings, she needed meetings, and so that's why she became versed in technology pretty quickly. And because she did it so quickly, we ended up with, at her home group, some members calling in from Ohio and California and other places, which was fun for the Kingston members. Meetings can happen on Zoom from no matter wherever you are. So that's been really wonderful. We've had a few members who are, we had one who was in hospital for 3 weeks and could not leave her hospital room, but she attended meetings on Zoom. So Zoom is the platform that we're using right now. And for members that aren't comfortable with Zoom, they can still reach out by phone to their sponsors. But Zoom has really made sure that meetings can happen in Kingston. And we have a Zoom meeting every day, and some days twice in 2 different Zoom meetings going on. So people can attend locally. They can also attend in other cities if they choose, because our Ontario South website will tell you where all the meetings are in Ontario. But locally, we have more meetings now on Zoom than we did face-to-face.
Would you please just identify where the best place to find this information is for people interested in joining Al-Anon and for members that need to attend during this COVID time?
If they're from Kingston, I would ask them to call the local public outreach phone number, which is 613-384-2134. And that phone will be answered, or if they don't answer right away, they'll get back to you. And they can mail you out a newcomers package, they can mail you out literature, and they can tell you where all the Zoom meetings are and how to get to them. If you want to go through a website, the local website is ygk.alanon.31@gmail.com. That will also get you the public outreach. Or you can go to the Ontario South website, which is al-anon.alateen.on.ca. That's alateen.on.ca. And they will give you all the meetings. And they have a secure link so that you can get into the Zoom meetings without even knowing the passwords, and you'll be fine.
Debbie, I'd like to thank you very much for providing the information about Al-Anon, and I wish you the best, and hopefully we will be through this COVID-19 adventure very shortly, and everything will return to normal meeting times, face-to-face meetings with people. Thanks again,
I hope
Debbie.
so. I'm looking forward to the hugs. Thank you, April.
Take care.